The device in your pocket might be listening to us right now. The FBI just found out that millions of disposable vapes coming from China aren't just delivering nicotine. They are carrying invisible tracking tools designed to spy on American military bases. You probably see these everywhere: your friend's pocket, your backpack, your desk drawer. But what looks like a cheap nicotine fix is actually a hardware Trojan horse. They can connect to your phone, they can steal your personal data, and if you work for the government, you're literally carrying around an invisible tracking tool that reports back to China. This isn't a theory, this just happened. On February 2nd, US senators sent an official warning. The DOJ seized a $90 million shipment. And the scariest part, this is just the tip of it. This is both sides of China. Let me show you what's actually happening. The sheer scale. So how big is this problem? Massive. In September 2025, the Trump administration made stopping Chinese vapes a national priority. One single shipment they seized, $90 million worth. That's not a bust, that's an invasion. But here's the crazy part. That was just one shipment. Chinese vape exports to the US exploded in 2025. We're talking over $10 billion in total exports that year alone. And US officials call it an invasion-level smuggling operation. Why? Because they're cheap to make in China, 50 cents, and sell for $8 to $15 on the street. One shipping container pays for itself even if the feds catch half of them. The US government tried everything: stricter ports, customs crackdowns, new screening, and the imports just kept climbing. Why? Because stopping one stream of illegal products when they're embedded in normal cargo is like trying to catch one drop of water in a river. China produces 90% of the world's e-cigarettes. 90%. That device in your pocket was probably made in Shenzhen. And here's where it gets really dark. How they're actually made. A viral video recently exposed Shenzhen vape factories. What they found is insane. Workers there don't test vapes with machines. They test them with their mouths. Literally. According to the viral footage, one worker said he personally inhales from 8,000 to 10,000 vapes every single day. That's like chain smoking 4 packs of cigarettes in your work shift. Except he doesn't want to. It's his job. Lab studies show what's in the aerosol: toxic metals, lead, nickel, antimony. Workers doing this are getting cardiovascular disease, lung injuries for $420 a month. Now here's the security problem. US companies like Juul invested in automated testing machines. They cost money, but nobody has to inhale anything. Chinese factories? They use workers because it's cheaper. So when cost cutting is the priority, when the company cares more about saving money than worker safety, what do you think happens with security protocols? They vanish. If someone wanted to slip a surveillance chip into one of those vapes during manufacturing, who's going to catch it? A guy who's already inhaled 2,000 devices that morning? The proof: China's surveillance track record. Now you might be thinking, wait, would China really put spy tech in consumer products? Yes, they've already done it. Multiple times, multiple products. Let me show you the actual pattern. 2020-2022, Huawei cell towers. US intelligence discovered Huawei had secret backdoors in telecom networks for over a decade. In 2022, the FBI found Huawei equipment on cell towers near US military bases in the Midwest. It could intercept and disrupt Defense Department communications, including those used by US Strategic Command, which oversees the nation's nuclear arsenal. The FCC officially designated them a national security threat. March 2025, robot vacuums in South Korea. Chinese robot vacuums, Roborock, Ecovacs, and others, got investigated by South Korea's Personal Information Protection Commission. Their privacy policies said they collect data in China and can share it with the government. These devices have cameras that map your entire home. By September 2025, investigators found 3 Chinese brands had serious security vulnerabilities that could expose users' homes and personal information to outsiders. That's not paranoia. That's documented. September 2025, children's toys. The Federal Trade Commission took action against Chinese toy maker Aperture Technology for illegally collecting geolocation data from American kids. The company violated children's privacy laws by letting third-party entities in China collect information from children without parental consent. Around the same time, Chinese social media users discovered toys with cameras literally built in as the toy's eyes. Real cameras. Your kid plays with a doll that's recording them. November 2025, shoes with tracking devices. A viral video on Chinese social media showed someone opening up brand new shoes and finding tracking devices embedded in the sole. The blogger who exposed it was Finance Cold Eye. The blogger speculated they are tracking people ages 16 to 22. Chinese users reported the findings to police. 2014 e-cigarette chargers. 12 years ago, security researchers found Chinese-made vape chargers infected with malware. When you plugged them into your computer, they installed keyloggers that recorded everything you typed. This isn't new, it's just getting more sophisticated. So we have government telecommunications equipment with backdoors, household robot vacuums collecting home video, children's toys recording location data, footwear with tracking, and e-cig chargers with malware. This isn't one-off incidents, it's a pattern, and e-cigarettes fit perfectly into it. Who's running this? Here's the key question. Is this random criminal activity, or is someone running it? The senators who sent the warning on February 2nd point to China's State Tobacco Monopoly Administration. In China, there's no private tobacco industry. Everything is state-controlled. The government manufactures and sells all tobacco and e-cigarettes. But here's the twist. It's also connected to China's military-industrial complex. When profits from vape sales go through Hong Kong shell companies and into the PRC state budget, some of that money goes toward military projects designed to counter U.S. technological advantages. Intelligence officials have tested these devices and warned every military and government employee, stop using Chinese-manufactured vapes. Why? Because the capability for surveillance is there, and the pattern proves they've done it before. The reality check. Okay, so here's where I have to give you both sides. What the US says, this is state-sponsored surveillance dressed up as commerce. The Chinese government is deliberately flooding America with devices that can collect data on military and government personnel. The state tobacco monopoly knew these devices were flowing into America. What China says, this is Western paranoia. Americans want cheap vapes. We supply them. The surveillance claims are unproven hysteria designed to start a trade war. Many manufacturers are private companies, not state-controlled. Here's what's actually true. Both have a point. Yes, American demand is real. Americans want cheap products, and this is a big but, the documented pattern is real too. Huawei backdoors were real. Robot vacuum data collection was real. Toy surveillance was real. Shoe trackers were reported by Chinese citizens themselves. And if China has already embedded surveillance in telecom equipment, household devices, toys, and shoes, then saying maybe they didn't do it to e-cigarettes isn't credible anymore. This isn't about being paranoid, it's about pattern recognition. Why should you care? If a Chinese device can spy on nuclear command communications, if your vacuum can send home videos to Beijing, if your kid's toy can record their location, then your phone charger could be compromised, your smartwatch, your laptop, anything connected to the internet. The US tried to stop this. The $90 million seizure happened. Congress passed the ND Illicit Chinese Tobacco Act with bipartisan support. Customs has new screening. But the senator's letter from February 2nd says, and I'm paraphrasing, it's not working. This problem has grown large enough to threaten national security. Bottom line, millions of potentially compromised devices are already in the US. Unless the government does a mass recall, which won't happen, they stay in circulation. Where this leaves us. This is how 21st century espionage actually works. Not fancy spy movies, it's surveillance hidden inside a product you buy at a gas station. It's cartel networks moving vapes alongside fentanyl. It's workers in Shenzhen testing thousands of devices a day for $420 a month. The US and China are in a supply chain war, and right now America is losing. If you want to actually understand what's happening between the US and China, not the propaganda, but the real strategy, subscribe, hit the notification bell.